Hi guys and welcome back. In today's video I wanted to talk about doubled pawns. Now doubled pawns are a lot of times considered to be a weakness, but it's not always like that. We can see that doubled pawns don't have the protection of other pawns because other pawns aren't there, right? So they're on their own and they can be really weak because the opponent's pieces can easily attack them. But they can also be good for dynamics, for dynamic play, because they control a lot of square, as you can see. Now, in this example, these doubled pawns here are pretty weak, and white would probably want to have this pawn, for example, somewhere else, for example, on I don't know, d4 or anywhere else, because now these two pawns are pretty weak. So let's see how black took the advantage of this. First of all, he played bishop to a6, just putting more pressure on this pawn. It's not really in danger because it has three defenders, of course, and black has one attacker. But it's going to get under more pressure after a move like knight to e5 or knight to a5, because then also the queen and the rook are going to attack it. So this was a good move by black, and white played f4, which is not a very good move. There are also going to be other weaknesses here on the king side. So black played knight to a5, attacking this pawn 4 times, as you can see. And this pawn really turns out to be a weakness. So white played rook to b4 because otherwise I don't know how he's going to defend it. He has no other way of defending it. And black is just exploiting this weakness here. That's a pretty big advantage for black because he has all the play and white has to defend these doubled pawns. So that's why black is very happy that white has doubled pawns. Okay, so black played bishop to h6, pinning the bishop, and he's going to create a weakness. Okay, g3, e5. You can see that white can't take because the bishop falls, right? And white played rook to f4. He has to protect the pawn. And black played rook to e8, putting more pressure on this file, also on this pawn. And okay, white played bishop to d3, trying to defend everything. This bishop here is like a pawn, as you can see. And black just took the pawn, and white recaptured. And we can see some exchanges. And now knight to b7. This is a very good move. Trying to put a knight to this fine c5 square. A very good outpost. And this is another disadvantage of doubled pawns, that your opponent can have an outpost and your pawns basically can't attack this knight, right? So this is a very good thing for black also. And white here played queen to c2, and we can see that black's position is really better here. This knight is a monster, and also these double pawns are going to fall. King to g1, okay, attacking some pawns here, and white tried to go into some action, but it really didn't work. Black just put more pressure on this e4 pawn and eventually won the pawn, and everything exchanged here. And you can see that at the end this pawn is going to fall because it's not protected by any other pawn. So you can see the bad side of doubled pawns here, but I also want to show you a good side of doubled pawns and an example where they are very good. Okay, so in this example you would probably say that black has a very bad pawn structure. He has tripled pawns here and doubled pawns here, and because you might say these are all weaknesses. They can't be protected by other pawns, they have to be protected by pieces, so that's why they are very weak. I mean, white is just going to take all these pawns and you might say that he's going to win the game, but actually black is the one who won the game. But why is that? Because these doubled and tripled pawns are also dynamic. Okay, so let's see how black made use of this dynamic play here. So first of all, he played knight to d5, allowing this exchange. This would be good, getting rid of tripled pawns, and he really has a very good bishop here, and Also, these two pawns are pretty strong here in the center. He's also taking this c2 pawn, so this would be very good for black here. But white didn't do this, of course. He just took a pawn. He said, okay, I'm just going to win all his pawns because they're very weak. But black didn't really mind. He had another idea in his head, and first of all he defended this f2 pawn, and he just let white grab another pawn, and now he took the knight with a bishop, which was a very good move, getting rid of that knight, because you can see that now this knight is probably better than this bishop. I mean, this bishop has an open diagonal, but it's not doing that much here, and this knight is going to be pretty useful. So okay, white recaptured, black recaptured, and you can see that this pawn here is going to fall. And okay, white played h4, trying to get some action, and okay, black just took the pawn. um, we see some exchanges here, and black played e3. You can see that these are tripled pawns, but they're at least doing something. White's pawns aren't doing anything, and these are just proving that they're not useless, that they're even better than these white's pawns. So this was a good play by black here. White took, black recaptured, and we can see some threats here, but this is really irrelevant because black just took this pawn and got rid of this pin here, which was pretty dangerous, you know. You never want to be on a pin like this. And black is a pawn up, as you can see, and he just went on to win the game. As we can see, this is a winning endgame for black. So the idea here is that double pawns can be pretty weak, but they can also be used for dynamical play, and they could be very good. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.